When Apple CEO Tim Cook starts his day at 3:45 a.m., it's not to check emails, it's to hit the gym. In 2024, we saw a record number of CEOs step down. Stress and burnout was key reasons, along with decreased performance. But what if the secret to performing better isn't necessarily just working harder, but actually taking up a hobby? I'm Julian Hayes II, founder of Executive Health, where we help audacious and mission-driven leaders optimize their health and performance with precision. And today, as I mentioned earlier, I'm talking about hobbies and sharing why hobbies aren't just for leisure, but they're actually a strategic tool for better mental health, creativity, leadership, and overall executive performance. And so let's dive into some of the surprising ways that hobbies can transform your personal and professional life. But actually, before I even go there, I want to state the obvious. Leadership today is more demanding than ever. Business is more demanding than ever. Times are constantly changing. There's so many distractions and so many things is constantly evolving right now, which is exciting, but it also can be nerve-wracking and stressful. And according to studies published in the Harvard Business Review, that when I was researching for this episode, executives are working longer hours under constant pressure to deliver results. The same goes with entrepreneurs and founders, of course. And of course, this isn't going to slow down anytime soon. This is what we signed up for. But nevertheless, this unrelenting stress takes a toll on our mental health, and it can lead to things like burnout, decision fatigue, diminished performance, poor health, and another one that we need to talk about more, our quality of relationships can also suffer as well. So thinking of these hobbies as a reset button for your overall mental operating system is how I actually think about hobbies. And they allow your brain to reset, reducing cortisol levels. And these things actually indirectly help you with your resilience. They overall indirectly help you with your overall career and health longevity. And summing all this up, this helps you tackle challenges with a little more renewed clarity. And so I know it can be hard to allow yourself to have a hobby, quote unquote, maybe have some fun when you got work and you got other responsibilities, or you're at that founder stage and it's all hands on deck. The business is not sustainable enough that you can just feel that you can just take this time away from it. And so I definitely understand that feeling. But I think by the end of this episode, you may feel a little more at ease, at least carving out just a little time. And the science behind hobbies is pretty interesting when I was, like I said, finding more about this. Research from the American Psychological Association found that engaging in leisure activities reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety by as much as 34%. And the same goes for our mental health. Hobbies are creativity catalysts, and pretty much. So when you step away from work, you immerse yourself in an unrelated activity. It's not necessarily that you forgot everything that's going on in your work and other phases of your life, but your brain is actually engaging in what scientists are calling divergent thinking. This is sparking innovative ideas. This is sparking fresh solutions, novel ways, new ways of tackling a problem. This is why I also say combine a hobby, getting out, and then going into nature. And I actually recorded an episode on the benefits of nature as it concerns our health and performance. So go check that episode out after this one. So also look at some of the most successful CEOs. David Solomon moonlighted as a DJ. Richard Branson was an avid kite surfer. And this isn't coincidental neither, because research has found that CEOs who run marathons, who pilot planes, they're consistently connected with leading companies that show better performance and innovation. And if they did more research on this, I would be willing to bet that this is going to include a handful of other things as well. They just happen to look at those two things. Now, I want to talk about 3 unique hobbies that maybe are a little more under the radar, and maybe one of these will be of interest to you. Number one is improv classes. And I know what you're thinking. Standing on stage, doing comedy sounds terrifying. Well, it's not exactly just that. Leaders like Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they've all taken improv classes. And one of the key reasons why a 2020 study in thinking skills and creativity found that just 20 minutes of improv can increase creativity, well-being, and tolerance for uncertainty. Psychology Today also reports that it reduces anxiety and stress while improving confidence levels. It's about making room for play, which on the surface feels like a seemingly unproductive tool, but it's actually valuable for reducing stress and elevating our overall well-being. The second hobby that's maybe out there is to learn how to dance, to move your body. I would recommend the salsa. I like bachata as well, but I tend to gravitate toward more salsa. That's a whole nother topic. Here's the thing though, and this is one of the things I learned indirectly by learning how to salsa dance. When you are learning to lead on the dance floor, especially as a man, now there's lessons for women as well, but I'll speak to the men here because that's all I can speak of. When you're learning to lead on the dance floor as a man, you lead actually, right? You're dictating where it goes. But a lot of the communication is nonverbal. And in particular, you're communicating on the dance floor through your fingertips, through your posture, through your presence, through the energy that you can give off, which can be felt through eye contact, all these nonverbal cues. So you're not just saying, hey, turn left, turn right. No, none of that's out of the order. You're giving signals by your hands and your fingertips. And the interesting thing is these skills are actually critical. A lot of these nonverbal skills are critical for conveying messages to your team, giving presentations, and just simply, I would say, engaging your team more and being a better leader overall. And on the science side, dance sharpens your emotional intelligence. It improves your cognitive flexibility. Cognitive flexibility is a fancy word of just having the ability to switch between tasks effectively. And lastly, it's a pretty engaging way to stay physically active if you're dancing hard enough. Now, it's not going to replace running or lifting. That's nonsense, but it's another way to get some activity in. I think it's a great date. I also think it's great for couples who are more established as well. So check that out. Number 3 is language learning. So Meta's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, Coca-Cola's James Kinsey, and many other CEOs and leaders, they speak multiple languages. And communication is a big part of it. It's fun to learn multiple languages. I'm currently learning a few right now. But it's not just about communication. Here's the interesting one. Researchers at the University of Chicago discovered people make more rational economic decisions when considering problems in a non-native language. Another interesting fact is that former Meta CEO Sheryl Sandberg has emphasized how crucial cultural and linguistic understanding is in global markets. So for leaders out there, for entrepreneurs out there who see themselves operating vastly beyond their local market and becoming more global, international, this is something to keep in mind. Another interesting study that I found was, according to studies in the neuroimage, language learning benefits multiple areas of our brain. And the University of Cambridge found that adult learning significantly helped when it came to our self-esteem, when it came to our self-efficacy, and when it came to our overall wellness. And so with those three things shared, there's a big thing that needs to be discussed as well. And it's maintaining our identity beyond work. That's one of the key things with hobbies. That's one of the key things with having something else outside of work, no matter how hard it is. It's not saying work is not a part of us, because at this level, whether you're an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur, or an executive, the work that you're doing is very much a part of you. It's a symbiotic relationship. But the key thing is when your entire self-worth is tied up in your job, these setbacks, of course, they're going to be uncomfortable and non-ideal, but these can really feel catastrophic catastrophic to our worth, our ego. That's the part where it gets dicey. And research from Psychology Today found that having a personal outlet reduces the likelihood of burnout by as much as 40%. And so hobbies allow you to rediscover what makes you uniquely you. It gives you the emotional resilience to face these challenges head on. It gives you another release valve. I've previously talked about how exercise and running for me is a release valve, and it is for a lot of people. We need as many release valves as possible so we can show up not only for our business, not only for our teammates, but also for our families in the best way possible. So here's a brief action plan and a challenge for you. Number one is I want you to pick a hobby that's aligned with your goals, that's aligned with your interests, whether it's extra movement in the physical world through dance, maybe it's something creative like painting, or maybe it's something strategic and mental like chess. Whatever it is, choose something that genuinely excites you. Number two here is don't go crazy unless you want to. I tend to be one of those people, but for the most part, the majority of people, it's better to start small and dedicate at least just 1 hour a week to it right now and ease yourself into it. As I always say with training and especially with running, consistency matters much more than the intensity of it. And track the benefits. Notice how this new hobby, this thing that you committed to for a week, notice how it's affecting your mood, your energy, your problem-solving abilities, and other little small intangibles in your life. Number 4 of this action plan is to find a community, connect with others who share your interests. It will not only probably help you stay more accountable, but it's also going to help make the journey more enjoyable and also much more sustainable. And so I'll leave you with this, that hobbies aren't just a break from work. These are a strategic investment in our mental, our emotional, and even our physical health, our creativity, our leadership, and our overall executive performance.